This episode of Up to Speed is brought to you by PerfectSmiles.com. At Perfect Smiles Aesthetic and Functional Dental Center in Nashua, their goal is simple: to help you achieve your perfect smile with comfort, function, and confidence every step of the way. Whether you're looking to enhance your smile or restore your dental health, you'll find the solutions you need from the terrific professionals at Perfect Smiles of Nashua, PerfectSmiles.com. And now let's get up to speed on what's happening in the world of construction, contracting, housing, that is a key part of the New Hampshire economy. Josh Reep is the president and CEO of Associated Builders and Contractors of New Hampshire and Vermont. Josh, welcome back to Up to Speed.
Michael, glad to be back with you. It's been very busy on my end.
Well, I mean, the world has been very busy since we talked. I think last time we talked, there wasn't a war in Iran, it's a crazy world. Gas, I think, still costs like whatever, $3 a gallon, something like that. So it is a crazy world. And I want to talk about some specific items going on in Concord that are important to the contractors, builders, et cetera. But let's start with the big picture. Where is your industry here in the Granite State compared to where it was a year ago?
Yeah, so I guess the best way to do is you guys start out comparing how you're doing compared to your neighbors, right? We're
Okay.
still hot and heavy here with construction. We still got a lot going on in New Hampshire. It has cooled off some degree in Massachusetts, but that 95 corridor and actually even inland here in this southern New Hampshire, it is still very busy. We're very blessed with work still going on here in the
Right.
Granite State. We're happy about that.
But what kind of work? Is it individual homes? Is it multi-unit homes? Is it business
Yeah.
construction? Where's the heat?
Yeah, well, listen, I'll tell you, Michael. I think that still think it's still red hot. Is we are still like the top, or at least in the top handful of residential markets in the country. If you know
Mhm.
anyone that's still trying to buy a home right now, it's very difficult. And
Right.
for developers as well, it's just finding land, finding municipalities that are amenable to allowing development to happen is now the biggest pain point that we're experiencing because these builders are eager to build multifamily, and we got the workforce to do it. We want to do it. But
So
it's
I want to interrupt you there because you mentioned something that we covered a lot at New Hampshire Journal. We've talked about it with various folks here on the Up to Speed series, and that is the local community zoning aspect. It appears that there's been some movement, that there have been some communities that were, had it nailed down like they're getting ready for a, class 5 tornado or whatever it's called. And now the door seems to be cracking open. Are you seeing progress towards more accommodating of the need for more construction, more housing, more growth? Or are you seeing the trend the other way?
I think there's been some accommodation, but we still need to keep pressing. There's not enough of it.
Mhm.
Classic examples. Everyone loves Portsmouth, right? Who doesn't like to spend a day
Sure.
in Portsmouth? Who doesn't want to live in Portsmouth? It's a beautiful
Exactly.
city, but under today's zoning laws, it's illegal. You can't build Portsmouth anymore the way we do zoning today. It's just so archaic. And we're not talking about wanting to put a massive factory next to a house. We're talking
Right.
about mixed use. We're talking about right-sized use, letting really the property owner make the decision about what to do on their land.
Mhm.
I think that's ultimately the freedom that we need here in New Hampshire. But that's one extreme. I'm sure we'll come somewhere between what we have today and what that looks like.
Mhm.
And I think we need to have more of that conversation. Some towns have been really great and receptive about development. The Tuscan Village project is a prime example. Salem is
Right.
really great collaborative, and it's still growing. There's still room to build over there.
Sure.
You're looking at like Merrimack's been very friendly. Londonderry is doing great. Listen, up by the airport, there's a $300 million project going on right by the airport
Right.
with housing and factory and everything going up right there. It's a very creative approach.
So stop on that one. So tell me just a little bit about that project in the sense of if you were trying to describe, hey, here's something you can do in your town. Look at what we did in Londonderry. What's the
Yeah.
mix? What's happening at that site?
What is old is new again. The way
Okay.
what they're doing in Londonderry is they've identified like we don't have enough housing, and we
Right.
need to have housing that's good and high quality for our workforce. So what's going on with that private development right now is you have a couple of facilities going in that are going to build sophisticated technology based products. And at the same time, it's going to be a walkable community. You can walk to work. You've got your
Right.
childcare there. You've got basic services. You're right off a bus line, but these are also not just affordable housing, it's also a mix. So if you work for
Right.
the company, you get a discount. If you don't, you pay market rate. It's just like what
Sure.
the mill owners did back in the turn of the last century.
Right.
We're doing that again. And that's so New Hampshire, right? We're getting back to our roots.
Absolutely.
That is what we're talking about. We're not talking that we want more towns to be receptive to that, to understand that that's
Right.
what we're talking about doing. It's a proof concept that's worked twice over already. We want to do it again.
So, and that I love that phrase, proof of concept, because once something is happening and then you can see it, people can, oh, now I get when you talk about this. I thought you were talking about making my, the family with the kids, live upstairs in a sweatshop, whatever. And so they can see it. I want to ask you about another area with proof of concept, and that is the relationship between contractors and labor. There are about 25 states that let public contracts, that is the government do a contract, and there's no role for what is the status of the contractor and unions. They can be an open shop, they can be a closed shop. The state just says, look, we just need the right builder, the right contractor for the right deal. That's not the case in New Hampshire. Do I understand that right?
So New Hampshire doesn't meddle in it, but we want to
Right.
we want to look at those 25 states and say those 25 states have chosen to say government won't get mixed between the workforce and the employer and whatever agreements they have or don't have. It keeps them neutral. It's kind of like keeping the government out of the bedroom.
Okay.
And New Hampshire has a traditional way of kind of using the free market in that way, but we're worried about what's going on around us because we see a lot of states like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York going the opposite way, where they're putting a thumb of government on contracts and saying you have to use a union-only contractor or a union
Mm,
workforce. At New Hampshire, that don't work. 90% of the workforce chooses to be open shop. They have the direct relation with their employers they're taken care of.
right.
But there's some people that, as they move into the state, we're concerned that, we're not always going to have someone on that second floor that understands free market principles. We want to be proactive. The legislature does proactive things all the time. Those 25 states have done that, and you have open shop and union contractors bidding on public work all the time with an even
Right.
keel. And taxpayers benefit from the lowest cost from the lowest qualified bidder. We want to have that here in New Hampshire.
So the bill SB 88, I just want to be clear, it only applies to public spending, right? You're not
Only
trying to tell
state spending.
private companies what they do.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't get in the middle of the private negotiated union agreements,
Right.
and it keeps government out of that, and it applies only to state public work. So we're trying to keep that efficiency of the free market in place here in New Hampshire, so we don't mess up New Hampshire. Massachusetts,
That is a phrase I've heard once or twice before. Okay.
it sounded kind of catchy, but it makes sense, right? I mean, you've got the governor down in Massachusetts who is now literally putting PLAs on every state project that they can think of,
Okay,
and
so
it's
for normal humans who don't speak code, PLA weren't they the bad guys in one of those 80s movies? I don't remember. What?
you're not far off from that the People's Liberation Army maybe you're thinking of, Michael.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, so forgive me, construction, we speak in acronyms all the time.
Right.
Project labor agreement is a pre-hire condition when it's mandated by the government. Says it doesn't matter if you've got a great relationship with your boss, you got to go through a union boss. You got to go through the
Got it.
negotiating process of a union. You got to follow those antiquated work rules. You got to use three guys instead of two. Those things drive up costs. So it
Right.
doesn't make sense to have PLAs on projects.
And so in Massachusetts, the government is stepping in to either mandate or pressure people into
Literally
you must
flat out
work through
mandate. The
PLA.
governor
Oh,
last
okay.
year passed an executive order saying we're gonna consider them on all state public projects. New York
Wow.
State did that a few years ago. There's been examples, apple to apple comparison in New York State. There was a highway project that got bid without a PLA and with a
Right.
PLA, same project. The non-PLA was like $20 million less
Mm.
because all the work rules
So
and stuff are just different.
So SB 88 would simply say that's not going to happen here. You're not
Yeah,
the government, whether our next governor is Milton Friedman or Zoran Mondami, doesn't matter. The government can't step in and say for these government projects you have to go through a PLA, you have to have a pre-existing union, you have to be a closed shop, et cetera. None of that.
none of that. It actually goes a little further, Michael. It actually protects the
Okay.
union shop as well, because what it says is government can't tell a union contractor you can't use your union agreement. As much as it tells
Ah,
the open shop guy you don't have to use union. We're not going to tell you
right.
how to use your workforce. That's up to labor and management to figure out. That's not up to the government to dictate.
So I get asked a lot, why is New Hampshire so different? I mean, and it's not, you point out regionally, obviously you see the expanse of, there's higher taxes in the states around us. There's higher, increase in regulation, increase in interference in business. Why is it so different? And there are a lot of reasons, but I think one reason is that you have a lot of people in this relatively small state who, because they can see, like you were talking, proof of concept, they see what works. And there seems to be a focus on outcomes. In other words, nobody cares if you choose to have a closed shop or open shop for your labor. Nobody cares how you choose to run your business or whatever. All we care about is what was the product. Is that when your members are out trying to work, whether it's with a municipality or whether it's with a company, is that the kind of the New Hampshire vibe that's out there? Because that's what I seem to pick up on.
100%. It's about the relationship you have, and it's about working with your neighbors, working with your family, and getting the job done to give the best back to your community. That's what it's all about. That's the New Hampshire way of getting things done. We don't need to become Massachusetts, Connecticut, or Rhode Island.
Is it also still the case as it was last time we talked that your members are really struggling to find workers, or has that been starting to right size, or is there more demand supply coming in to meet the demand?
It's gotten a little better, but I'll tell you what, Mike, it is still very difficult to find people. We're trying to develop more pathways. One thing we've done is we've created a construction academy that allows people to come in and
Oh,
get the skills they need. We opened one up outside of Burlington, Vermont. We're going to open one here in New Hampshire sometime in the next few months, where you can come in off the street or you can come in out of your CT center and learn the
sure.
exact skills commercial professional contractors need, and we'll find you a job right away.
And is this designed for young people who are, towards the end of their high school career, or is this designed for people who maybe they're unhappy with their job, or maybe they're one of those jobs that's being impacted by AI and they're thinking, I need to make a career shift.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the coolest story I heard was during the last downturn, one of the best
Right.
drywallers made was an accountant. Guy
Really?
needed a new job. Really loved doing drywall. It's very analytical,
Sure.
very, procedural. Guy cranked it, was a great drywaller. Point being, we'll take anyone. As long as you're going to show up and be
Right.
reliable, we can find you a
Sure.
job. Yeah.
Well, you also have the advantage here that New Hampshire has the Learn Everywhere program, which allows kids in school to find a project like yours, a program like yours, and they can get school credit for it, and it can help you.
100%.
Maybe even if that's not what they end up deciding they want to do, it opens the door to, hey, there's this whole other arena of skills you can learn and ways to make money from those skills that they might not have been exposed to otherwise.
Exactly. We work with such a variety of contractors. We're going to find something that fits your niche. Say you like plumbing, but
Right.
you find the this residential stuff to be too
Sure.
mundane. We can get you in the complexity of controls and everything, or electrical work. We can do transformers, high voltage, you name it. We can find anything you're
Wow.
interested in. It's pretty cool stuff.
So if you were talking to someone who was say in ninth grade in high school, and they're just starting to think ahead, and they're like, what skills would I probably be able to still sell 10, 15 years from now and
Mhm.
make really good money? What's the one place you would point them to?
One place, and just show up. That I kid you not. That is the biggest thing right now. Think about the other employers you talk to in other
Right.
industries, right? Like people ghosting them. Show up, but
Exactly.
also for us, it's a matter of like have an open mind, be willing to learn,
Mhm.
and we'll teach you the basics. And from there, if you want advanced training, we'll find that earn while you learn model that'll get you where you want to go.
So let me ask it again. The one thing the shortage that you see up ahead that's going to be the worst, the one where, man, if you learn to weld or to drywall or to do electrical, is there one, or are they all equally in
Got it.
demand?
While they're all in demand, I would say masonry and carpentry are probably the two biggest ones right now.
Okay.
Masonry is an art form that is got
Yes.
a lot of room in it.
Mhm.
We're in the process of developing a registered apprentice program for masons. Our contractors said we're not finding people that want to do it. We're going to train
Right.
them. We're going to empower them. And it's not this. It's brickwork. It's mortar mixing. But
Right.
there's also technology that makes it a little easier.
Right.
There's this really cool machine called the Mule. I can't even describe it to you. You got to Google it. Google bricklaying mule. It's just amazing what it can
Wait,
do.
I'm sorry. Bricklaying mule.
It's a mule. That's what they call it. And that's the shorthand
Okay.
slang.
I think I saw Bricklaying Mule open up for Toad the Wet Sprocket at the SNHU arena one year. I think.
I
Anyway.
think you and I might have been there together. But a lot of
Okay.
these millennials are
So
naming these new tech.
exactly. So you got the SB 88 coming up.
Yeah.
If you were sitting down with the leadership of the legislature in both parties, and we're talking about looking towards the future,
hmm
what are one or two things that the state could do to help there be more housing, more construction, more economic growth from your side of the wall?
There's probably three ways to do that. Real quickly, have our schools focus on pathways alternative to college,
Right.
because we offer a bunch of credentials, by the way. look at zoning and have a hard conversation about finding better ways to reform zoning. And then there's also this little bit of a niche, if I get a little nerdy on you for a second,
Well,
with
we'll take it.
financing being so expensive, and that
Right.
just disrupts the pro forma or making the numbers work on a big project. There's an opportunity to explore how we tax investors that may overlook New Hampshire and go to places like Texas where it's more favorable for their short-term investment. And that short-term investment is crucial to getting a lot of projects started that right now are just been on hold for 6, 7, 8 months.
But we already don't tax dividends or interest income. What could we do that's even better? I don't understand.
I think part of it is some of the REIT and the look-throughs when it comes to investors that want to come in with like large funds or investment
Right.
funds that want to come in, help get the project going, invest in it for 3, 4 years, and then they want to be able to sell. And
Hmm.
I think that there needs to be a deeper conversation with state leaders about what that looks like to
Hmm.
allow and incentivize those developers. Because we want those developers to come in and work for us here
Right.
in New Hampshire. We want them to see us as the benefit that we are, which is a great opportunity to invest. In the meantime, giving people places to live and work. We've had
Mm.
50,000 or so people, I think I was reading, coming to the state over the past 6 years. That's a
Wow.
lot of people. No wonder why we have a
Yes,
housing
it is.
crunch. Yeah. And I'll tell
But
you what, too, it's
sure.
kept us going here in New Hampshire, where those big
Mhm.
projects, Massachusetts and other states survive on big projects, and that's where the financing
Right.
is important. Where you see builders building on spec, in other words, like a big project, okay, we'll do it and fill
Exactly.
it in later. Now it's more end users type of stuff like dental clinics, country clubs,
Hmm.
smaller residential developments are still going forward, where the person investing are the people owning the property. So in New Hampshire is a smaller state and it's more community focused, so that's what's keeping us going in that term.
And so you're saying there are things we can do about tax policy that might encourage some more of those larger investors looking at larger projects to consider New Hampshire.
Yeah, because you have those corridor communities, right? You have the Route
Right.
3s, the Route 93, places where you need more housing in Concord. You need more housing in the surrounding areas of Manchester.
Right.
We're not talking about coming in and making every community look like a Billerica. We're
Sure.
talking about making sure every community has what it needs, so your kids can stay here and afford a house here. That's what this
Mhm.
comes down to, and
And of
that's what
course,
we want to have a
the
conversation.
kids will need a house because they'll be here working in the trades because there's so many jobs and there's so much money to be made. So it's a virtuous circle all the way around, Josh.
Hey, listen, yeah, the economics of our industry, it's like for every one job, there's like three that support it. So
Right.
build, baby, build. We need to build more housing. We need to build more commercial. It's, I know, a little callback for you.
We'll take it. Well, listen, we tell people give us 20 minutes. We'll bring you up to speed on what's going on. That's exactly what we've done. Josh Reed with the Associated Builders and Contractors. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael.
Welcome to Perfect Smiles, New England's premier smile makeover center. I'm Melissa, the office manager. Over the years, we've learned the more that patients are familiar with our office and our team before their first appointment, the more comfortable and safe they feel when they arrive. Our highest priority is providing the best experience possible for our patients. So I'd like to introduce you to our staff and give you a tour of our office. With over 40 years of excellence, Perfect Smiles is conveniently located in the heart of New England, minutes north of the Massachusetts line. When you step into our office, you'll be greeted by Jamie and the smell of warm, freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. And don't worry, we have toothbrushes. So come with me down the hall and meet Dr. Sai.
One of our highest priorities is that you're as comfortable as possible during your visit, and we always want to take care of our patients the same way we want to be taken care of.
In the next room, you'll see our talented hygienist, Lori. After visiting with her, many people say it was the best cleaning they've ever had. Across the hall is our sterilization lab, where each instrument and handpiece is triple checked because we want to ensure a safe, trustworthy environment, which is why in our office, we use advanced state-of-the-art technology to ensure you get the highest quality treatment possible. We like to go the extra mile by offering some of the comforts of home to help you feel as relaxed as possible during your time with us. Our philosophy here is that dentistry is one half art, one half science, and it's the artist who makes the difference. This is the reason our doctors strive to listen and help you meet your dental goals. So here are our next two dentists, Dr. Tam and Dr. Houghton.
We understand the impact the quality of your smile has on your confidence and your relationships. So if you're looking to improve your smile and transform your life, we'd love to help.
We prioritize you by offering personalized care in a calm, comfortable place where you feel taken care of and you feel like family.
I love Dr. Tam. He's so nice. He has a very calming presence. He's extremely gentle and calming.
Having good dental work really improves your life in so many ways. And the smile is your first impression.
If you're ready to make a change, we'd love to meet you and help you start smiling confidently again. So give us a call today.